Hey friends, what's up? Philip here with Points of Philip, and we are actually waiting we are supposed to be having a co-host on. He hasn't come on yet, but we do have plenty of stuff to talk about in the meantime, so we can go ahead and get started. I wanted to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Dave before becoming a YouTube member. Thanks so much for doing that. You are awesome, and hopefully you get some really great points and miles kind of tips and tricks with those points and or with those members only videos. We also want to say thank you to No Race Car, No Life for being first. You're awesome. Always first in my heart. So anyway, thanks so much for being here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about Built yet again. So basically, for those of you that don't know, I recently actually ended up getting the Built Obsidian card, and it's actually in my wallet here. And we actually have some good news with the Built card. So first of all, we have to talk about that the whole saga that's been going on with Built. So Built famously has no foreign transaction fees, and on top of that, it actually has some really good travel multipliers as well. So the Obsidian card in particular has 2x back on travel purchases, which if you have the point accelerator becomes 3x back on those travel purchases. So that's going to be really, really amazing. So one of the things that people have been experiencing is that they're getting 0.2% of a foreign transaction fee being charged. And so basically, I don't know if I would have actually noticed this if I were overseas during this whole period, because I would have just assumed that maybe it took Built a little bit of time to actually process the transaction, and maybe the conversion rate had changed over, a little bit of time because currencies can be a little volatile. But a lot of people noticed that it was 0.2% of the foreign transaction fee that was charged on top of all of their charges. And so a lot of people are actually using this card, and they're overseas, they're maybe living there or staying there for the longer term, and so every single purchase is getting that 0.2% fee. And so basically Built a couple of weeks ago issued a statement that they're kind of looking into the matter, and that their card partner, basically Cardless, is kind of trying to figure out how to go about addressing this problem. The fact that they openly said that they don't have foreign transaction fees, and that they immediately started charging foreign transaction fees. So according to the Doctor of Credit, as of today, some people are seeing that these fees have begun to be refunded. And so that's kind of a nice little thing that is actually seems to be pretty quick, actually, the turnaround, because basically 10 days between them actually acknowledging the issue and it actually being, and these are 10 actual days, so not 10 business days, actually started, addressing the refunds and things like that. That seems pretty nice. Now, I actually have not made any foreign transaction purchases with this card, although actually I'm about to be perfectly honest, because I'm about to put a Verbo purchase on this card, but I wasn't able to see whether or not this actually still charging. So if anybody in the comment section can go ahead and actually tell me if that's still coming, that would be amazing. So that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to talk about. So Built obviously is becoming kind of the card that I'm spending the most on. So this Built Obsidian card has $95 annual fee, and I'm deciding to actually use it for grocery purchases. And so basically it's 3x on groceries normally. However, I have the point accelerator, it means it's 4x on groceries. So that's going to be pretty amazing because, well, I use grocery store purchases at Sprouts, at Publix, and at a couple of other larger, retail stores too. And if you want some tips on how to use that, there's a members only video that actually dropped this weekend as well that talks about that. So that's going to be really solid. So this is really awesome. You have the travel multipliers, you have the grocery multipliers, and then if you have the point accelerator built in, it becomes a 2x catch-all as well. And so that's going to be really, really solid for being able to actually earn a lot of points. And so that's one of the reasons why the Built card is actually becoming kind of an important card in my wallet. And the transfer partners are kind of a big part of that. But even if Atmos wasn't a thing, I think I would still be thinking about that Built card. But one of the things that actually is kind of surprising to me is my most important Built card is not actually my Built Obsidian card. It's my Rakuten credit card. So Rakuten credit card is a no annual fee credit card. It is on the American Express network, but its whole shtick and claim to fame is it earns, so first of all, 2x back on restaurants and groceries, but then also earns plus 4x back on any Rakuten purchase. And so basically, let's say that recently, if we're looking at Carter's, which has a bunch of baby clothes, if they're say 6x back on Rakuten, I can use my Rakuten credit card on that purchase and make that a 10x back. And so that's pretty amazing, right? So 10 points per dollar on baby clothes is kind of hard to beat in literally any other card. And the fact that it's a actual no annual fee card is kind of crazy. Now, here's where everything gets a little bit better, right? So Rakuten allows you three different options to actually get paid out with those rewards, right? So you can actually get paid out in cash. They'll send you a check every quarter, or you could actually get your rewards into membership reward points. And so 10x becomes 10x membership reward points, right? However, what they've also recently done is they've opened up Built as a reward partner. And so basically you can get that as 10x Built points deposited into your Built account every quarter. And now after the May payout for Rakuten, you will need to have at least, I think it's Built Silver status in order to be able to get one-to-one conversions from Rakuten. But if you have a Built card like the Built Obsidian card, all you have to do is spend $10,000 on the card in order to actually get Built Silver status, and then you're able to continue earning those Rakuten points. So one of the fun things is like these are actually kind of a 1-2 punch of this is my grocery card, my travel card, my everyday card, plus I have an online shopping multiplier that I can pull out as well. And now, if these are the only two cards that I also have that 2x on dining, which isn't that good when you compare it to the American Express Gold card, the Saver card, or even the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but at no annual fee. Basically, this is a $95 annual fee that has a really amazing setup. And so that's that's really good. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our comment section. So as you notice, I did promise a co-host. Haven't seen him yet today, but as soon as he joins into the studio, he will be here. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at the comments. So Dim is here. Thanks so much for being here, Dim. You're amazing. Mr. Potato, thanks so much for being here as well. I'm going to go ahead and do a salute for you as well. And then Calder's, did Built give you a decent credit limit or the minimum needed to get approved? So Built actually gave me a credit limit of $6,000. And so I think that might actually have given me a little bit more information into why I wasn't approved for the Palladium card, right? Because that's going to be a World Legend card. And so you need to have, I think it's at least $10,000 in credit limit in order to be able to get that card, which may have been why I was denied for the card in the first place. And so that's important to note. But yeah, 6,000, it would have been nicer if it was more than that, but that's enough to carry some significant, ways to move forward. Where was I? Yeah. So 6,000, like you can cover, grocery stores expenses, everyday catch-all expenses for like a month and a half before, you start getting into like some, needing some more breathing room. So it would have been nice if it was more, but this is totally fine. Yeah, let's review Filmo. I love that. Yeah. So, all right. So Filmo's World, don't care for Built, and Rakuten is basically worthless to me, but I'll watch anyway. Thanks so much for being here, Filmo. Always love to see you, and really enjoy seeing you in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. That was a really great meetup. Got to see a lot of really great creators. But anyway, Rakuten is worthless to you. Is that because you are a Capital One offers person, or is it just because you choose a different portal, right? Maybe you're one of the American Airlines portal people. They also have, there's a United portal and a bunch of others. But that would be interesting to know what is your portal that you're there. That you're into. All right, Sleepy Rod, this is actually a really good question. So what's the chance that Citi touches AA transfer ratio? So I don't know if that will be touched anytime soon. I would imagine here. So Citi is basically, American Airlines is kind of the promise of Citi points, right? And now I Prefer was definitely the promise of everyday reliable value. And so that's one of the reasons why that was such a big deal when it went away. But, I feel like Citi puts more of an emphasis on having American Airlines as a one-to-one transfer partner. So I think that one might get kind of stay in place. I think what we might see instead of that is we might actually start to see where maybe American Airlines makes it a little bit more difficult to, redeem those points for everyday reliable value, right? So maybe the point values for individual flights start going up. I think that's where we go with it. I think American Airlines would kind of take the brunt of that if it became a problem that needed addressing. At least I'd like to hope so. I do think at least that there's probably a contract somewhere that someone signed that keeps it at 1-to-1 for a specific or a specified amount of time. I don't know how much that time that would be. I would assume at least 1 to 2 years, if not longer. Let's take a look here. So Stacy's traveling points. Thanks so much for being here. Good afternoon to you as well. And yes, please hit that like button and follow. Yes, exactly. Mr. Potato, can you interview Filmo in the meantime? Yeah, exactly. Jesse, thanks so much for being here. You basically just missed. We were talking about the built fact that they are actually refunding those foreign transaction fees that were charged that they totally didn't mean to charge at all, and so some people are starting to see where that's going away. So that's good. Filmo spends like $100 a year online. Okay, all right. Let's see. I wonder what is that all on the Amazon Prime Visa card? That would be good to hear. Sleepy Rod, here, we need a Filmo collab. Points with Filmo. There we go. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, no, he's welcome on this channel anytime. Although I do believe that he's due to drop a video any day now. YouTube experiment 1-to-1 is a standard for transfer ratios. Anything less than that gives off a bad deal to me, unless the individual points are worth a significant amount. Right. Exactly. So, especially when you think of like Capital One, like they have a weird JetBlue ratio, and it's like, I don't understand why anybody would ever want to do that. Right. So one of the things I love about JetBlue is all the points. You can redeem a small amount of points for a flight, but it's also because those flights don't really cost that much on the cash rate. And so, you know, I, yeah, no, 100%. I think that it has to be 1-to-1. When you start getting less than 1-to-1, it starts to feel like, why would I do this, right? And so I think American Airlines, like they do need to have a credit card transfer partner now. The problem with American is they really do want you, like they would prefer that you just spend it on your American Airlines card. However, like there's a lot of people that just have Citi cards that actually just transfer to American Airlines, and so that's kind of the problem with the game, right? Chad 20 minutes is here. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. And then Kevin Hawthorne is here. Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. Yeah, exactly. The two fills is too much for YouTube. Yeah, exactly. All right. So what we wanted to talk a little bit about is, just kind of more of the news that's happening. And I guess we got to talk about that American Express business card. I really, I was excited about it when I first heard it. I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna get something that seems interesting to me. But the graphite card, 2% cash back for $250. It seems like there's something missing to that equation, right? So like we all see the screenshot for that whole new. For the screenshot of that link, right? The test link that everyone kind of is going off of. But I think there's got to be something missing, right? There's got to be a credit, right? Maybe like a ChatGPT for business credit or something like that. Maybe a Squarespace credit. I just feel like there should be something there. But, they may just be doing that with their business cards, right? They may actually just start, charging a lot more money, because we did see that potential survey of the business gold card. And I think that was going to go up to like around 500 if memory serves correctly. And although that would definitely be worth it to some people with those credits, I don't know if I would pay $250 for just a 2% cashback card. And the fact that honestly, the cashback, the way that American Express does cashback is kind of frustrating, because you can only do that as a statement credit to the card. So like if you want to actually use it to like say redeem for travel, right? Like if you want to cover hotels or taxes and fees with it, you actually have to use that card for that purchase and then use it to kind of basically erase that purchase essentially by using it as a statement credit. And so I'm not really a fan of that, because it's not really all that, it's not, it doesn't really help me when I'm actually trying to make sure I'm using my rewards for travel. So that's going to be kind of a big reason why I'm not really the fan of it. But what do you guys think? Are you all on board for getting the American Express graphite card? If it has a sign-up bonus, I might try it. But who knows? Let's see. YouTube, Wells points got that more valuable with choice. Yeah, exactly. So Wells Fargo points are going to be a little bit more valuable because that's still 1 to 2, at least currently, right? And so you can do a decent amount of stuff with choice points. You can, there's some decent hotels. You can. I think there's the Ascend collection with them, and it's not like really really nice hotels, but at least it's like okay, I can come here with my family and not feel like I'm just like betraying everyone, right? So that's going to be a really big deal. But anyway, for those of you that are just now joining us, we are supposed to have Daniel. Hopefully he'll be here soon. We will see. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into Jesse continues. I don't like how Amex does cashback. I almost canceled my Blue Cash every day, but instead upgraded it for a year for the bonus. Yeah, I did have the Blue Cash Preferred, and I used it, right? I used it for the 6% cash back. I definitely use it for the Disney Plus credits as well. But reliably, like I think I'd rather just do the points, especially since you're still dealing with the restrictions for grocery, right? So American Express doesn't allow you to do Target or Walmart for grocery unless it's a Walmart neighborhoods center. And, I'd have to go kind of the opposite direction or to actually make that work. So, I'm not a fan of that. Filmo, the business Bonvoy Brilliant would be exciting. Yeah, exactly. And I think that would be the reason it's exciting, at least for a lot of the Marriott people, is that, you would have more points to be able to kind of mix with a personal Brilliant card. You could theoretically have a personal Brilliant card, a business Brilliant card, and then, you'd be able to like stack those Elite Night credits to get you a lot closer towards getting, platinum status. You already would have platinum status. If you wanted titanium or something like that, that could be a possibility for you. So that could be worth it for certain people. Although I don't know if getting titanium is that much more kind of from a real world perspective any better than actually having, platinum status with Marriott. And so that's kind of important to note. Sleepy Rod brings up a good point. So Capital One and Citi will now have the same I prefer transfer ratio, so it can get a 2x catch-all premium card for cheaper. Yeah, exactly right. So Capital One and Citi, and so that was one of the things about the Citi 1-to-4 ratio that kind of broke it, right? Like being able to have 1-to-4 meant that essentially, if you were looking for that I prefer transfer partner, right? Putting your spin on the Venture X card didn't make much more sense because you get the same value as if you put that catch-all category on, the Citi Strata Premier, right? But it didn't make that the Citi Double Cash or even the Citi Strata Elite that much more valuable. And I will actually, so I did notice that one of my fellow creators, the Rewards Master, posted a video, I think it was earlier today, talking about multipliers and the fact that they don't matter. I believe they do matter. So I would rather have a 2x catch-all card that actually gave me more for my points than not, right? And so like basically like if you are searching, I prefer the Venture X with the 1.4 with Citi didn't really make sense, but now that it's even, that kind of changes the playing field. Maybe you could have a Citi Strata Premier and a Venture X card and actually just still have a decent hotel transfer partner for both. So that could also be a really solid option. But yeah, great point, Sleepy Rod. So I wanted to start thinking about, let's see. I want to start thinking about actually basically the coupon books, right? So I was listening to Spencer Johnson's live I think it was this week, and they were talking about the the Robinhood Platinum card and basically how terrible that card is, and I think basically it's not something that I would like. If they had a decent sign up bonus, I would consider it, right? But Uncle Luke actually, he commented on it and he said something that was actually pretty interesting to me. It was like, basically, if you look at it at the same way that you rate other cards, like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Platinum card, it doesn't look that much worse than the other ones. And it got me thinking, like, am I just being unreasonably harsh on the Robinhood Platinum card? And why would that be? So, it got me thinking, okay, let's take a look at the Robinhood Platinum card and figure out what is going on. So let's go ahead and look at that again. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here really quickly, and we're going to talk about it. Uh, let's see. There we go. Okay. All right, so we have the actual platinum card. So first of all, blatant advertising aside, this is Visa Infinite card. So that's already means that it's going to have decent travel protections, right? And so if we were talking about the Venture X card, or if we were talking about the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or even the Ritz Carlton card, like that is something that we would be talking about quite a bit. And so that kind of makes sense to me. We definitely have already talked about a little bit of this, but 5% cash back on dining can be helpful. Now, the only problem is it's cash back and not points. So that 5% cash back will always be 5%. It can't be 10% or 15%, depending on what kind of value you get from that. But then you do have these other credits. You got the annual DoorDash discounts. You have restaurant credits. And then you have Dash Pass memberships and things like that. And so you do have some decent credits. And so we have the annual hotel credit, and that's $250 for 2-night minimum and every 6 months. And so that's pretty solid. Then we have the annual travel credit, and that's $150 every 6 months as well. And so it seems like you can stack those, which could be really helpful, right? So, if it's a hotel, it presumably codes as travel, and so you could be able to actually kind of stack those up to where you can get some decent value out of it. So $800 just off of those two credits means that you're coming pretty close to that annual fee, which is what was the annual fee? It doesn't have, how do you even say it here? Let's see. I knew there was. Yeah, $695 annual fee. So if you're taking those credits at face value, you're already pretty close to doing that. So if we were taking a look at the other credits, right? So we have Priority Pass. If you don't have Priority Pass through any other card, this might actually be worth it to you. So that's cool. Then we have Global Entry, TSA PreCheck. You definitely need to have that. And maybe the restaurant credit. Maybe we can get some use out of that, although I think that one is a monthly credit. And then we have Dash Pass or a membership, which, that works. So if you take a look at it from the way we look at the Platinum card, right? For example, it can be okay. Now, I think the only problem that we don't like about it is that the fact that it's cash back, and it means that you can't get the gold card. And I think a lot of people would rather have a $50 annual fee card that earns 3% cash back on nearly every purchase, right? So let's compare that to how we look at the Platinum card, right? So let's take a look at the American Express card. We're going to look at the Platinum card here. I may qualify for an upgrade, but news alert, I won't. Yep. Still no available offer, but we could take a look at more details. So let's go ahead and learn more about the card. There should be there we go. Okay, so $895 annual fee, but you do have the $600 in hotel credits, and that's going to be $300 every 6 months. So that's already pretty good. Then we get the $200 in Uber Cash. And in Uber Cash, I really enjoy how this is currently implemented, right? So you can use it for Uber rides, you can use it for Uber Eats. And the Uber One credit supposedly is supposed to help you save a little bit of money off of those purchases. And so that actually is really nice too, that those two credits work together. Then you have the $200 airline fee credit, which it did recently get a kind of a nerf by the fact that you can no longer use it for United Travel Bank, but you can still use it for lounge access for a lot of these places. Like last year, I used it with Delta, and I got my buddy into the Sky Club a little bit. And so I think that's good. But again, Luke's point was that we take a look at the credits, and if the amount of credits that we would use is more than the annual fee, we say you should get that card. And so at that point, I kind of get it where he's coming from, right? Maybe the Robinhood card is getting a little bit more hate than it deserves. Philmo, that's a good point. We should talk about the Palladium card, right? So Robinhood Plaid is not much worse than Palladium, and people endlessly slurp that card. So let's take a look at the actual the Palladium card. So built Palladium card. I don't know if it will actually let me look up just the card. There we go. Okay. All right. So the built Palladium card, that's a really solid point, Philmo, that you're talking about. So let's take a look at what we like about the Palladium card. So the Palladium card here is a $495 annual fee, which is not that much more than the the Venture X card, right? So it's not that much more. Plus, you get the 50,000 built points as a sign up bonus. Would we rather it be more points? Absolutely. But 50,000 is better than nothing, which is what Built 1.0 had. No sign up bonus to speak of, right? Exactly. So you get 2x back on everyday spending. However, if you do that point accelerator, you get 3% cash back on every single purchase, up to $25,000 a year in spend. And so I feel like most people probably aren't going to be spending more than that. But if you do, then having a 3x up to 25,000 and then 2x might be worth $495, even not considering any of the credits. But you do have some other credits that you can do. Now we have, let's see here, we have the $400 in Built Travel Hotel credit. It's $200 in statement credits, so every 6 months, and I think that's a 2-night minimum, right? And so that's important to note. And then you have kind of basically what you can do with Built Cash. And so that's kind of important too, right? So you can do certain things with Built Cash. I like the idea of choose your own adventure, right? So if you don't want to do the point accelerator, you could make it a monthly $10 Lyft credit card or a monthly $10 Walgreens card. Like, you don't have to do the point accelerator, but if you don't want to, you can do something else with that Built Cash. And I think that is kind of a big deal to me. And okay, so yeah, that's a solid point, Filmo. I personally think that most people would rather have points, at least in this space, than cash back, which is what the Robinhood Platinum card offers. But that's definitely a solid point. Anthony Ventures here. Let's go. Thanks so much for being here. We're waiting on Daniel. Haven't heard from him too much today, but he should be joining us hopefully soon. Jonathan is here. Hey, Phil. Big hugs from Spanish Harlem. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And thanks so much for just being here. That's amazing. Filmo, say Palladium and Anthony Ventures shows up like Beetlejuice. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to see what shows up when you say film mode 3 times. Oh, that's amazing. Matt is here. Thanks so much for being here as well. Happy Sunday to you as well. Exactly. Yeah. So when we're evaluating these cards, I think the coupon books, we've kind of become a little desensitized to them. I think basically we've all kind of reacted negatively, right? We don't want to be playing this game, but I think if we're going to, I think we should try to start thinking about okay, what am I getting out of it? I think that's why when we think about the Built card and you do get priority pass to the Palladium card and all that, that's pretty nice. Oh, yeah. Wow. Rewards Master is late today. He usually goes a lot earlier. That's why I kind of have a standing appointment for that one. But oh well, that's good to know. But anyway, that's thanks for letting me know, Dem. But yeah, so the Platinum card is really good. I like the fact that it earns the points. But here's the thing: if you're going to be playing the coupon book, game, I'd rather get as much out of it as possible, and so that can be, whether or not the points actually help you get free travel done. That could be pretty helpful, or you could, kind of basically get, great lounge access, right? So let's say if you are, let's say in Texas, right? And so you have easy access to those Capital One lounges, then that Venture X is going to be really helpful for you, even if you do have to pay that special annual fee for that authorized user. And so I think, you have to think about, okay, if the coupon game is making it so we can only pick one, maybe two, pick the ones that do the best for you, right? So let's say if I have to fly through Atlanta every single time, maybe I'm going to think more about the Platinum card just because I have options for Sky Clubs, I have options for the Centurion Lounge. But then also, am I just putting too much emphasis on lounge access, right? So I've definitely seen where some people are saying that we think too much about lounge access. And here we go. Right. Exactly. So, there we go. Charvicio, lounge access outside of airline lounges are overrated. Normals are always crowded. So here's the thing. If you're flying home on a Sunday afternoon or evening, absolutely. I agree with you. However, I've found that if you kind of fly out at different days or even different times, it's usually not that hard to manage, right? So let's say, I've flown in and out of Atlanta, let's say 8 times over the last year, right? I have been able to get into the Centurion Club 7 of those times, right? And so basically, you just have to kind of manage, right? So, like, once we actually land the plane in Atlanta, I check to see if there's a wait list, right, on the Centurion Lounge. And if there is, I go ahead and join it. And basically, I'm just gambling that, either the wait list is long enough that my turn will come up once I actually get reasonably close to it and off the plane, or the wait list isn't that long and I just rejoin it enough times that I actually am able to actually get in the lounge. And so just playing that game has allowed me to actually really just be able to use it every single time. And so that's going to be really great. All right, so yes, we do have a friend coming, but that's great. But yeah, Charvicio, I think you might be right a little bit. That is, the airline lounges are kind of more important. I think the Sky Clubs are really helpful. I really do want to try to target getting the American Airlines Executive Card at some point, just because having access to those American Airlines lounges can be really helpful, just because not even just thinking about the family language and the fact that you can get a lot of family into it, but also the fact that like they're pretty much everywhere you're going to be flying to. But okay, without further ado, we have our guest of honor. So we're going to go ahead and add Daniel to the stage. Welcome, Daniel. How's it going?
It's going great. For some
Good.
reason, I thought our meeting was a little bit later. I was gonna message you. I was like 30 minutes ago. I was like, hey, I'm actually free a little earlier.
Oh,
But I know you have like a specific time, not even thinking anything of it. And then, yeah, happy to be here.
yeah, so glad you're here. Thanks so much for joining us. But yeah, so we've just been talking about lounge access. So Charvicio is saying that we give too much emphasis to airline or lounges that aren't airline lounges, so like bank lounges in particular, or priority pass
Mm.
lounges. What do you think about that? What do you have any strong opinions about lounges?
I mean, so lounge access outside of airline lounges are overrated. I will slightly agree with that. So player two is actually, she just flew to Santa Barbara this morning. So I dropped her off at SFO, and there's a bunch of different lounges at that airport. So the club, SFO being one of them, there's the Centurion Lounge, and she was able to get through security super fast. However, those wait times were absolutely
Mm,
insane.
yeah.
Normally, the wait time in the Centurion Lounge is not as crazy, because having an exclusive access through like a credit card, I would say it's a little bit harder to get into a lounge because you need to
Yeah.
have that. I would imagine like priority pass lounges are the most impacted because every card in existence gives you that.
Mm,
So she didn't even bother going to the club because her
yeah.
friend got there like 40 minutes before, and it was like a 2 hour wait, which is just wild.
Mm.
And the wait time to get into the Centurion was about, they quoted 15 minutes, but it turned out to be like half an hour.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so I would say like for lounges like Alaskan, Hawaiian, or even like American Airlines, where you have to have like very specific niche status or a card or just like some type of flight to get into. I mean, I think that kind of beats it realistically. So I think, yeah, that's what I would normally say. So I would agree that it is a little bit overrated, especially
Yeah.
if you have to pay for your guests. You know.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I really thought about it because there's been especially this past year where we had some larger expenses between taxes and some adoption expenses. Like theoretically putting $75,000 on one card was a possibility, but I had to weigh whether or not like it was important, like it was worth giving up like all the sign up bonuses to get those free guest lounge access. And we decided ultimately no, right? Just because, you know, we'd have to go into the lounge literally every day in order for that to actually make sense.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, 100%. I will say there was one time, so I was doing a connection through Atlanta. I think it was like 6 o'clock on a Sunday. And that is just terrible for Atlanta. Everything is terrible at that time of day. And so I put myself on the wait list once we landed. And I was able to basically I was able to get off the plane, like taxi to the gate, get off the plane, walk to the next terminal. So terminal 2 was where my next plane was going to be flying out of. wait in line at the Sky Club, get into the Sky Club before I actually got off the wait list in the Centurion Club. And I was like, well, at least, I'm already here, so let's just stay at the Sky Club. But,
Mhm.
but that was one time out of 8 over the last, say, year or so, that I've been able to actually, access the club. So, I definitely understand that because the airline lounges are a little bit easier to get into. Like the Sky Clubs are, even if there's a line, you're getting in within 20 minutes,
Yeah.
but those club lounges are just terrible. The only club lounge I've actually ever gone into was the one in Orlando because, you know, usually nobody's going there like, unless it's spring break and there's huge lines. But
Yeah. I would agree with
yeah,
that. I would say even for my travels, like international, where you needed like gold status or a business class flight, like those lounges were phenomenal. Even like the Polaris lounge at SFO, where you have to have like a business class flight through a partner, unless you can't even get
yep,
in, right?
yeah,
I think those are the ones that are incredible. Recently, when we traveled from London, we had access to the Virgin Lounge
oh
in
yeah,
London, and that was just ridiculous. It was
yeah.
insane. They had a whole restaurant in there, and I didn't even know what to do because I'm not used to lounges like that. So,
They used to have a barber shop in there.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was reading about that.
Yeah,
I don't think they have it anymore, but I
they
mean,
don't, no.
yeah,
But like, yeah, like here's the thing. Like, I really like that's one of the lounges that I really want to stay at, like by name. Like, I'd love to go there, but like, I would never pay like $1,000 in taxes and fees for both of us just fly out of London in business class.
yeah.
So like it's there, but I'll probably never do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things I learned for sure where the point redemption was great. The taxes and fees were awful.
Hmm.
My favorite part about that whole trip was you just get your own entrance to the airport, the
Oh
upper
yes.
class wing. I mean,
Hmm.
those are the type of things that I would just dream of in a normal airport, but you don't
Yeah.
get that unless you, I guess, pay to win, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, it's funny because I went through Charles de Gaulle with a just a regular economy ticket between Europe, and then I also went business class on the way back, to the United States. And the difference in the airport experience is insane. Like,
Yeah.
because when you're in business class with Air France in Paris, you have your own security gate. Like they actually the people they escort you to the security gate. They introduce you to the people and then you go through and then you just go like, oh, they're like, this is the lounge, and then they just take care of you. Whereas if you're just an economy traveler with Air France, they're just like, oh yeah, you're with the United States people, so you go in that line, and that was the biggest line because they only had 2 security agents working that one, for the entire country.
Yeah.
So,
Oof.
but yeah, no, that extra kind of prestige is kind of nice. Like I would love to do that. That would be
Hmm.
amazing.
Hmm.
All right, Servicio airline lounges are pretty consistent and more exclusive in theory. Yeah, exactly. They definitely can be, and especially I think what is it that it's not the it's not the United Club, it's the American Airlines. They charge $74 or something per day pass, which is like nobody's ever going to pay that. So it's like it works pretty well. To like no one's going to be there.
Yeah, I think if it comes to like in a pinch where there's like nothing else, then I'd probably do it, especially if there's like
Mhm.
no good food at that airport. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, for example, I don't think Chicago has any club lounges or anything like that, but literally the only food in that entire airport is either McDonald's or Starbucks. So it's like it's tough.
Yeah. Oh, Filmo is having some hot takes. Centurion Atlanta is usually in the wrong terminal for me. Yeah, it is. It's not that bad in that it's not that far of a walk from the plane train. But if you're in A, like going to E is going to be a trek, So
Yeah.
I definitely get that. James, yeah, that airport is super huge. Filmo, yeah, Capital One is doing it right. No, no more guests. Especially if you're Anthony Venture, right? Because you're not paying for player two to get access to the lounge. So
Oh, damn.
I can say that because he's here, but
Yeah.
hopefully he's still here anyway. Yeah, you're right, Filmo. Been reading a lot. Folks saying Capital One lounges are pretty empty nowadays, at least when they went. Yeah, I haven't been to a Capital One lounge yet, but I'm definitely thinking about it. But
Yeah, I went to the one in Vegas. I went to the one in New York, like right when they opened, and they were pretty cool. And I got to do it right before February, so I was able to bring player two for all of it.
Oh, nice.
And now it's done.
yeah, there's nothing worse than like when you're done with the trip and you're just like waiting for the next one, and
Yeah.
you open up the app and it's like 180 days until your next trip. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, for me it's 11 months, 6 days and
Oof.
like 20 hours. Yeah.
So it seems like you still have a lot to look forward to, though. How's that trip looking?
Yeah. I mean, everything is booked, so I was able to snag the flights. I transferred my entire built life savings to Hyatt to get the hotels.
Nice.
So I think, in other episodes or in other, I was going to say shows, in other videos, talked about like what the actual difficult part of traveling is, and it starts when you get there. So now I
Yeah.
get an entire year of like, what on earth am I going to do in Japan? Like, who knows?
Just reserve all the things on Viator. Go to the ghost tour.
Yeah,
The double decker bus. Do you know?
exactly. That 12x. Thank you very much.
right? Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That is amazing though. That's gonna be a fun trip. So what Hyatts did you book?
I was literally having like an existential crisis because I was debating between two that are in the realm of possibility.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of great things about Hyatt House in Shibuya.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are very fond of that. Large rooms, like amazing spot. And then there was one that was specifically recommended to someone of like one of my friends that goes to Japan every year, sometimes even twice a year. And he's like, you should go to the Hyatt Centric in Ginza because
Oh
it's just
cool.
such a great location, shopping all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, but based off of what I've learned in my Europe travels was essentially location, location, location. And I
Absolutely.
picked the hotel that is closer to the trains, closer to any
Mhm.
type of transportation.
Yeah.
And that was the Hyatt House in Shibuya. So
Nice.
I'll be staying there for 8 days and then gonna see if we can go to maybe on a day trip somewhere or maybe go to Kyoto. But this being the first trip, we kind of don't want to um, go all over the place. Like I don't want to be just chasing trains, if that makes sense.
Right.
So experience Tokyo in all its fullest, and then on the next trip, which there will 100% be a next trip, we can go like for 2 weeks or maybe just like quit our jobs and retire and just move to Japan. You never know.
Yeah.
And then that's where we could do everything else where we have more time. So
Oh yeah. Like I definitely agree. Like I think our favorite memories of traveling at least in Europe is like getting lost and like just is seeing the neighborhoods and how people live, you know? Like when we were in
yeah,
London, we were going to Portobello Market and we actually got off on a wrong tube stop. And so we were just walking through neighborhoods and like we passed a couple of like, shops and some grocery stores and stuff. We were just like peeped in and just see like regular people doing stuff. And then we eventually got there. But that was just like so cool, just walking through random neighborhoods and like just seeing people playing with their kids and school kids like on the bus and stuff. It's cool to see like how people regularly live life. So I definitely get that.
yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and get back in with the, let's see. Oh, yeah, James saying can't wait for Twitter lounges and built lounges.
God, yeah. The Elon Musk lounge.
Well, now that he's got the bank, it's just a matter of time.
Dude, that's absolutely criminal. Like, what is this? The definition of monopoly money. Like, actually,
It's gonna be like you know how the Kimptons have a special password. In order
yeah,
to get into the Twitter lounge or the X lounge, you're gonna have to be like Donald Trump is amazing, and they'll just
yeah,
let you right
something like that.
in. Yeah. The Bill lounges, though, I wonder if that's even that could be a thing.
I don't think so.
You don't think
There's no
so?
way. No way.
No. Well, it is hard to get lounge space, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Just you have to buy out like all the Chili's to goes or whatever it is.
kind of all of them.
Yeah,
If anything,
yeah.
they'll probably just stick to like really doubling down on neighborhood. Um,
Oh yeah.
they'll probably find a way to like really eat into like the resi footprint, the open table footprint.
I did
Um,
actually get a really interesting email from them about the concierge something. Let me
yeah,
see if I don't know if I deleted it. I probably did.
yeah. I think I still have it, but you could just like
But yeah, it was
you
like
could chat with them and ask them fun things and
oh yeah, no, I do have it up actually. Let me see. Do I have any private information on this page? Doesn't look like it. Nobody steal my identity, please. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, so actually, let's do. Yeah, there we go. All right, so built hospitality is coming to restaurants near you. So let's see if I can. There we go. All right. So earlier this year, we shared a simple idea with you, everything around. So it's a new platform for restaurants built with some of the most iconic hospital. Yeah. Anyway, but basically the theory is you can use your neighborhood concierge to make a reservation, tell the hostess that you're celebrating an anniversary, and then also like book a ride to the restaurant or something is like kind of what they're trying to do, which is like,
yeah.
I don't know. It seems intriguing. I doubt that they can actually do it well.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think?
I would see like the seamlessness of like built already partners well with Lyft, with the rideshare, things like that. So if anything, you probably won't get like like Resi exclusive tables, so you won't get like
No, yeah.
exclusive lifts. But I mean, you might get like a discount, you might get like 5% off, and then you get like extra points for the lift. You're doing everybody a solid because you're not going to be driving home drunk. But I
Right.
can see
Yeah.
it that where it's kind of like a one-stop shop where instead
Hmm.
of going to Open Table to reserve a this and then closing that app and then going to the Lyft app and then having to do that, I can imagine it being like a very linear, like this is the neighborhood that you're in. When you're in the Built app right now, I was driving and it was like updating the location in the top right corner as I was
Oh wow.
driving. So I can imagine a world where like you could be in New York and you have no idea what's going on, and you can open instead of like Google Maps or the Maps app, you can open the Built Rewards app, and then it
Yeah.
tells you like this is in your neighborhood. Here's food. Here's a ride. Where do you want to go? What's happening? I'd be interested to see like what the hotels would be like, how they incorporate hotels into like Built neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
Um, Imagine if you need to get a hotel like within the next day or two, or
That
plans
would be cool.
change, something happens. But I mean, I just see it as kind of like a just go to this app for a one-stop shop, like for your convenience. So you don't have to have like seven apps to do seven different things. You can kind of have one app to do one different thing. So kind of like
Yeah.
how American Express Travel, Capital One Travel, it's like travel app, but it's kind of just like integrated in a way to where it's just a lot more pleasing, if that makes sense, because
Yeah.
some of these travel apps are just so painful. It's so painful.
Yeah. I'm at least grateful that Capital One did come out with a travel app now. It's a little bit
Yeah.
easier than just going to the web app and opening the browser and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, 100%. I'm intrigued with seeing where they go. The one thing that I think is kind of broken with Built right now is that they used to have the neighborhood dining and it was very clear like which ones had the higher multipliers. But
Yeah.
now it's like they have two different classes of restaurants. They have the Built neighborhood dining and they have just the ones that you can make reservations for, but like they don't it's hard to distinguish like, okay, if I make reservations here, should I use the Built card? And sometimes the answer is no, and it's not really made obvious which one it is. And I
Yeah.
guess it's because they always want you to use the Built card. But
Yeah. I mean, for me at this point, it's very hard to put it down. I was actually
yeah.
talking to Anthony yesterday and a couple people in Discord, and I was like, I don't know what my future for American Express is because I have not used these cards. These
Yeah.
cards that I'm holding in my hand for like 2 months,
Yeah.
unless it's like getting into the Centurion Lounge. But I mean, with points boost, it's kind of
Yeah.
makes things really zesty, really spicy. I find myself like if you look at my screen time, I'm probably in the Built app like quite a lot. Um,
That's
so
that's a video that I'm kind of kicking around doing because like so I'm kind of obsessive compulsive about credit cards and so every morning when I'm walking my dog I'm updating my Max Rewards app and then I go through my bank apps and I'm just like okay like is there a charge like check like oh did I get my 4x points off of this dining purchase at the gold card and stuff like that. And
yeah,
what I found is like I used to for the last year almost exclusively check Amex. Like that was my first app. Now it's like I'm kind of addicted to opening up Built and be like, okay, did I get the points I was supposed to this time? Or like, I don't know. It's like it's definitely got that kind of engagement factor that we really haven't seen from other credit cards.
yeah. No, I mean, I would say we could do a live on this because yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, obsessive compulsive. Absolutely. I wake up at like 6 o'clock every morning, and the first thing that I do is I open up Rakuten, and I'm like, I'm like, what are
nice.
my multipliers? And then I
Yep,
go to like my banking to be like, okay, did anything get charged? Kind of exactly like you. But like for me, it's like first I check Rakuten, then I check my checking. What do I have left? And then I go to
yeah,
American Express. Do I have any upgrade offers? Do I maybe retention? What's good? What's happening? And then
right,
finally, I end up in the Built app where it's like, okay, how much points do I have? I've spent a lot. Is it all updated? Am I getting bonuses? Is it stupid? Is it not working? I don't know, right? But it's just like
yeah.
I've been waiting for GNC on Rakuten to go more than 2x for the last like month, and it's
Oh
starting to
yeah.
get concerning. I think it's like a couple people where they no longer do CVS on Rakuten
Hmm.
for them because they
Yeah.
just like absolutely obliterated CVS. So that could be me for GNC. That rhymed. That was awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just 2x, and I was like, ah, my god, dude, I'm gonna go Capital One. It's 6x right
Hmm.
there. You know,
Yeah.
so highest
Capital One
bidder gets
offers
it.
is hard to say no to, especially because they have Hilton and Rakuten doesn't. So like if you're, paying cash for hotels, like Capital One offers might be a better deal.
Yeah. Filmo for his comment. His life is Hakuna Matata. That's what you're looking for, bud,
Oh yeah. Yeah. It means no worries.
for the rest of your days. Yep.
Yeah. That's amazing. All right. Yeah. Let's take a look here. So Phil was saying the wait at JFK Centurion was 40 minutes. Sapphire Lounge was 50 deep. Capital One was empty. Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what
We
I
are going to
found
be flying.
out?
Yeah.
You know what I found out since we're talking about Capital One so fantastically, and built, by the way, if viewers here didn't know this, because I was today years old when I found this out. Rented a car, player two rented a car for her travels, and I'm doing research. And I was like, yeah, let's put it on the built card, primary car insurance.
Mm,
Psych, it's actually
yep.
not anymore. It got nerfed. It's now
Yeah.
secondary.
Hmm.
And then I was
And
doing
that's
more
what
research.
sucks.
Yeah, it's I don't know. But you know what's primary car insurance? My Venture X. Hello,
Yep.
how you doing? Keeping it forever. So yeah, that was just like a little fun little fact.
Yeah, we're doing a rental car in Atlanta, and we're having to decide like, do we rather? So we usually get upgraded because we're executive status with National, and so we usually get to pick like the nice cars, and so I usually just throw it on my Ritz Carlton card because that has I think it's up to 75,000 in CDW,
Mhm.
and or I could do it for the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but then I get actually more usable multipliers, but I get less coverage. So it's like you got to think,
Yeah,
okay, what makes sense for this one,
yeah. We just made it easy. Venture X. That's
Yeah,
all we got.
there you go. James, what's the best domestic lounge for Chicago? That's do
Ugh.
you have any insight to this? I don't think there is one. Is there?
Yeah, I have insight. It's actually so the best lounge is there is none,
Yeah.
which is why I was talking about O'Hare, because I'm like, literally all there is McDonald's and Starbucks, and like there's a couple restaurants there, but forget
Yep.
about it. Yeah, first time I had McDonald's in like 3 years because there's nothing else.
Yeah, that's actually why I need to get the American Airlines executive card before Thanksgiving because we're going to be flying through O'Hare, and I'd really rather be in at least a lounge. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
the Virgin
actually,
Lounge. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, the Venture X and car rentals, if you book through Capital One Travel, so they have a handshake agreement with Hertz. So if you have presidential status through your other cards, which you do not get through the Venture X, of course, you
Right.
enter in your Hertz number as long as you book the correct one. So you can't do like the deep discount, you can't do like the managers, I'm just going to give it to you for
Oh
free
yeah.
type thing. But as
Right.
long as you do like the C mid class, whatever, you get all of your Hertz benefits. So President Circle, where you
Wow.
skip the line, you get free upgrade, all that. You can choose your SUV
Nice.
for getting that mid tier car. So that's what we did.
That's
And got the
money right
10x
there.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. All right. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Oakland, the Virgin Lounge in JFK was clutch for my wife and I last fall going to Aruba. There we go. Yeah, Virgin, that would be amazing.
Aruba, we like that.
Yeah. I need a haircut at the barber during my lounge visit. Yeah, I wonder if they can fit me in.
Yeah. I mean, on the way back, I was in Europe for 2 weeks. So, like, if they had a barber in the Virgin Atlantic Lounge in London, oh, that would have been just so great.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Oh yeah, so Big Kev, that's coming to AVCon Atlanta will be insane if the shutdown isn't over. Yeah, Atlanta is so bad. I just had a regular question about like if I could bring if I get free like the car seat and the stroller checked with Wells, and I had to hang up because they said it was like an hour and a half wait time, just random Friday morning, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to wait that long for this question,
It's
but that
disgusting.
sounds fun. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, people are reporting like huge waits at those airports, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oakland to Indy. People have been dogging lounges, but I've mostly had good experiences. MCO was great one time for us, then never mind the next year, so we just got McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The MCO club. If you went to the A terminal one, it's the worst one. It's the worst one there. The B one's not bad. Like the food, it's not going to wow you. It's going to be standard breakfast fare. They got the egg bites, they got the bagel, the schmears. But
Schmears.
yeah, but if you're looking for actual good food, not going to be there, right? So we actually went there for lunch one day, and not like there and then came back, but it was just like for a later flight, and we got the pasta, and then Jen got the tomato basil soup, and the tomato basil soup was just the pasta sauce.
Mm.
Yeah,
Cacio e pepe.
yeah.
Pasta
So
sauce.
that's MCO. Yeah. Okay, here, Matt, I'm paying $79 for Dimes 2 for AA next month. My second Plaid airline is set to AA for this year, so we'll get that credit back. Nice. That's really good to hear. I should maybe if I get the platinum card again, I should do that.
I'll refer you.
All right, yeah. Do referrals work if I get the Morgan Stanley one or no?
No.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. So I got a what's the online brokerage account thing that you had to get for the Morgan Stanley? Oh, it's what was it called? E-Trade. If I got an E-Trade account thinking I was going to
Oh,
open up at Morgan Stanley, but then they like said that I wasn't who I said I was, and so like I have to like fax in a letter saying please activate my account. So I have to fax in a handwritten letter with my social security number and the day's date,
no.
and yeah, I'm never going to do that.
No.
So like I got to figure out if faxing my social security number is worth saving $195 for the authorized user fee.
Give away your life
Right? Yeah.
and save up. Oh, dude. Well, yeah, no. No.
I might get the Charles Schwab though, because if they're not going to give me an upgrade offer, I might as well just get one that actually like looks a little bit prettier,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. A fake from State Farm. I hate O'Hare, but that McDonald's cranks out food really fast, at least in the United portion. Oh, that's good to know. So I took my wife to the Centurion Club sometime last year. I forgot exactly when. And the thing about the Centurion Club is that they whatever their main dish is, it's chicken thighs with different seasoning, right? And my
Mm.
wife really hates dark meat chicken, and so when we were at the Lounge, we were like, oh, like we're gonna get free food. It's gonna be great. And so she was like, well, I really want to eat something. So we went to McDonald's before we went to the Centurion Lounge. So there we
You know
go.
what they say?
What do they say?
Thick thighs save lives. Am I right?
Oh yeah, saves mine every day.
Chicken thighs. Chicken thighs.
Yeah. Ian's asking you what part of Japan are you going to?
So I guess the correct answer is Tokyo. And then what we do in Tokyo, that is up for debate. So
Okay,
we're
you
going to
got
be
to go to a
staying in
7-Eleven
Shibuya.
apparently.
7-Eleven. Dude, I haven't been to 7-Eleven in like decades. If it's on Rakuten, I'll go. I haven't even checked. I don't think I want to check, but
No, it's just so funny. Like on TikTok, like all the influencers, are like, oh, you can pour out your drink into an ice cup from a little plastic pouch, and it's like really cool. And you
Hmm.
could do the make your own ramen thing where you just like you get the cup of ramen and you like put a bunch of junk in it, and so
Oh,
like every like, oh, you got to go to 7-Eleven to try it. So
hmm.
apparently it's
Yeah.
important.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can spend
Okay.
$1,000 for sushi. So there's that.
Let's do that. Maybe
Yeah,
it'll. I'll use my built card.
there you go. Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Or you could move to Japan. James is saying.
It might have to happen, honestly.
Okay, I don't. Don Cameron, should I? Am I about to be demonetized? Is please try the mayonnaise drink while in Japan? That sounds terrible.
Mm, can we? Let's not and say we did.
Yeah, I was at a rest stop in I want to say Georgia somewhere, and I was looking at just a random gas station. I forgot which one it was, and there was a ranch soda, and I was like, you could, and it looked like vaguely white, like with little specks flying in it. And I was like, it looked like you put ranch dip in a soda, and I was just like, I would never ever drink that. Like it sounds terrible.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm
Okay.
gonna
Yeah.
put
So
that in
Mad
the
Matt's
rather not category.
yeah. Mad Matt's saying must eat ramen at Ichiran in Japan.
Yep.
Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know.
I mean, anything that has to do with like anime, Naruto, like I'm there. Like this is not
Yeah.
a trip for my girlfriend. Like my girlfriend, we went to Europe for you, okay? We are going for Nintendo World. We are going for the anime. We're going for all of that, okay? I want it all. Cuz it's right
Yeah.
after my birthday too. So it's pretty much just like a birthday
Nice.
present to myself that I bought a year in advance because we're crazy.
That's amazing. I love that. I finally actually, so my wife is like finally on board with like she wants to do all of the Disney parks once Wells like gets old enough. And
Yeah.
so like we're definitely doing an Asia trip. We're gonna do, try to do Shanghai and then Tokyo. And so, at least we're gonna do those two things. But I don't know when,
Yeah.
probably, 3 or 4 years down the road, but still gotta get those referrals. So anyway, go ahead and hit that referral link in the description below. Make sure that I get those points for so Wells can go to Tokyo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ian saying you definitely want to move there. I would never come back if I could speak Japanese. I'd be bored with 8 days in Tokyo though and broke. Yeah,
Dang.
I can imagine. Oakland saying I can't wait to book my Japan trip. Not sure when, but it will definitely happen. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that Elon had a restaurant. That's crazy. Built has that VC money, so it's easy to approve. Yeah. Do they still have the VC money? Like, when are they going to go through all of that?
Probably. Probably.
Okay, so Travis is saying I think they've already said that they won't be getting into the lounge game. Okay.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, yeah. James says maybe that will happen.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and oh yeah, so Filmo, whatever the opposite of Obsessive Compulsive is, that's how I live. I don't even have some of the apps downloaded. Nice.
Hakuna Matata.
I have so many travel apps downloaded. I had to get into I have a general travel, I have a train travel, a hotel, an airline, and like a loyalty program folder on my iPhone screen.
Bam.
Yeah, I
Bam.
have so many apps. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because like you sign up for like the Eurostar thing. I signed up for the loyalty program, and I have like I think like $30 of rewards that I can use if I ever use the Eurostar again. But probably gonna be a while.
Yeah. How does one keep all their apps on one screen? Kirby.
Folders.
Folders. On one screen.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. I do quick swipes. So like some of the ones that I want to just have like two touches to, I do in the second screen, like the settings
Mm.
app or
Yeah.
like Apple Podcasts or something. But everything else is in folders.
Interesting.
Yeah,
We like that.
nice.
Organization at its peak.
Yeah,
That's what we need.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right. VentureX is basically Oakland's rental car. Costco, primary CDW, 10x on rentals. Yeah, that
Yep.
Costco travel deals are no joke.
Yeah.
My our friends are they're renting a premium SUV, which is basically it's the Mercedes like the smaller SUV in the States. And
Mhm.
they're doing that. I think it's going to be like $250 for a week, which is like not bad.
That's not
So
bad. That's
no,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah, and that's through Costco Travel. So
Jesus.
yeah. Oh yeah. So VentureX gives Hertz President Circle apparently.
See, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that is nice. Although I got I got a bone to pick with Hertz. They tried to charge me $1,500 for a windshield that didn't get broken. So that was fun.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah.
That must have hurt.
Yeah, they ended up not charging it because I was able to deal with somebody. But like all of the rental car companies, like their 800 numbers, they are completely worthless.
Yeah.
Just absolutely worthless. I actually had to call the location, and they were able to find the charge, and it wasn't even that location that put in the charge. It was another location, like the airport location, put in the charge like 3 weeks after I returned it.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
returned it. A couple other people drove it, and then randomly they just decided another location decided that I broke the windshield.
sick.
Yeah, but luckily,
Make
like the
that make
picture that they
sense.
showed, yeah, I know, right? But the picture that they included didn't have any damage on it, so I was able to get like someone at the airport to actually just reverse the charge. But it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. American Tarmacker. I got a muster roll offer for my business platinum. If I spend 43,500 at one shot, I get an extra 11,000 points. How to do it 3 times. Have you ever heard of anything like this? Little weird, I thought. So the thing you got to think about that is if you do a $43,000 purchase, or I guess it's just accumulated, or if you do any purchase over 5,000, it's 2x, which is really nice. And so all of my large purchases this year have been on business platinums just for that, because if you're hitting 30,000, that's 60,000 points on top of the sign up bonus, which is insane too. So you could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. I've gotten a couple of those on the business gold where it was
Yeah,
like, I think it was like an offer where if you spend like 15,000, we'll give you like an extra like 10,000 points or something. I was just like, yeah. For me, I didn't think it was worth it. Business gold, it was 1x. So no
yeah,
2x there.
yeah.
Um, so
It would be nice, like if I was if I was replacing my iPhone or something, or my MacBook, like doing that, get 4x would be nice, but
yeah.
you know you still have to do a lot more spend.
Yeah.
Tyler's Credit Card Tips is here. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. I was on with his channel last night. Actually, he threw me a last minute invite, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll hop on." So this is actually my third night in a row going live. So
Streamathon.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Matt Darling saying, "Go where somewhere in Japan that's not Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto. Your yen will go so much further, and you'll get authentic experiences without the over tourism." That's a good point.
Yeah. That's all the research that I've been looking into has literally just said that, where it's nice, but it's going to be like really, really populated, very busy.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's a couple places that I want to go for day trips, and I think we'll definitely look into that.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally. Don Kim is saying the mayonnaise drink is real. Apparently, it's disgusting. Yeah,
It's not real.
it's not. It's not okay. All
It's
right,
not real.
there
It
we go.
can't be. I
The official
refuse.
stance is that it is not.
Yeah.
That real. All right, Jenna Wheeler, have you had any luck getting approved for Chase business credit cards?
Ugh, dude, Chase hates me, honestly. Like I don't know what I did to them. I've never been a Chase customer. But like for the life of me, I just get nothing. And I've wanted chase cards for the longest time. And they just will not approve me. So that is why I'm Team Capital One and American Express. Because dude, like Chase, Jamie,
Mhm.
Diamond, hello. I'm like your number one supporter and you don't even know it yet. Like hook a brother up, please. I could if I
Yeah.
would. How about you?
Yeah, so basically I famously opened 25 cards in 2025, and so I'm a touch over 524.
A touch.
And so yeah, no, I literally would have to wait almost,
10
yeah, I
years.
would have to wait like 23 months of not
Yeah.
opening up any personal credit cards, and that's just not
Yeah.
going to happen. So,
No.
I will say my wife has the Ink Unlimited, and it's actually a pretty decent card. Um, we did that because we were putting a somewhat large purchase on it and take advantage of the 12-month 0% APR. And but that I think it was 75,000 points. That was not a bad bonus for that either. So that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, so now that you mention it, yeah, I have a player too who actually is in the Chase ecosystem, and we have been looking for her next card. So,
Oh,
if
are you
anyone
gonna get
has
a
any
United card?
recommendations, it's kind of like we got the Freedom Unlimited with the Rakuten bonus.
Hmm.
So we got like an unimaginable number of Rakuten points for that. We got the Sapphire Preferred also with the Rakuten bonus. I can't
Nice.
give her referrals because I don't have Chase. Otherwise, trust me, fellas, ladies, everybody, like it would be happening. So I'm kind of like torn between like, do we just like get her to like the Sapphire Reserve, or do we get her like the built whatever that I can't get, or do we kind of wait and sit on it and we just like go through my points first, and then
Yeah.
maybe when my velocity calms down in the next 6 years, and Chase finds a way to like reevaluate how they live their life and give me Chase cards, maybe we can actually play the two-player strategy. So it's kind of something I've been thinking about for like the last like 3 or 4 months. But I mean,
Oh yeah.
like the Bill Palladium is definitely on my list for player two because I have the
Hmm.
Obsidian, can't get the Palladium. The Sapphire Reserve also is on my list for player two because I mean, Chase just is allergic to me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I honestly I think I like the Obsidian better than the Palladium at this point in my life, honestly. But
yeah. With the points boost, I mean, it's so difficult to not use that card
I
because it's
know.
my gold, it's my Venture X, I
Yeah.
mean, 3x all travel. Like I just got
Hmm.
my ANA tickets and I got 3x on all of that, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah. We're about to book a $2,500 Verbo like vacation rental in the Isle of Skye, like on the water, like overlooking a cliff, like that kind of thing. And like I
Jesus.
was gonna put, yeah, and I was gonna put it on my Hilton Surpass because I was trying to kill that sign up bonus, but I was like, do I really do I want 3x build points instead? you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Get all your bill points before the Hyatt nerf.
Yeah.
I'm like praying to God. I've been manifesting. Like I'm not religious. I don't believe in God, but I do believe in the universe. And when I tell you, I have been manifesting Hyatt nerfs going live on May 16th. Oh, bro, May 16th, please. Like I know Chase doesn't like me, but like
Yeah.
Hyatt, please help me. Like I just
I know,
need
right?
to transfer a couple more points, and then I can book the Park Hyatt for 2 nights, and then I'll be fine. And then I could
Yeah.
just quit Hyatt for the rest of my life and then just focus on Marriott. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And it's funny because like I was trying to convince my wife to do the Park Hyatt at St. Kitts, which is like right now it's 35,000 points a night, and in St. Kitts it's a little difficult to get to. There you have a couple connections, but 35,000 Hyatt points a night. Go to a beach place in the Caribbean. I was like, that would be so cool. But she was
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't get any more time off. Like, to be granted, they're giving her 3 months of maternity leave, which is nice. But I was like, come on, it's Hyatt. like, we're never going to see this again.
Please. Yeah.
yeah.
One and done. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Chase is a fun game. Are you going to do the United card at all?
I can't. I want to. I want to so badly. Especially after the news where they're pretty much just swagger jacking Delta with their percentage off their redemptions. I'm like,
Yeah.
even more reason for me to like really just love United. Like I was talking to Anthony about this like all the time, and I was like, I have this unhealthy infatuation with United, and I don't fly United, but like the opportunity the
Yeah.
opportunity is so high because United is the main airport or the main carrier in my airport. So they have the
Oh
largest
yeah.
hub in San Francisco. They go everywhere in the world that I would want them to
Yep.
with titanium status through Marriott. I have United silver status just guaranteed.
That's nice.
So it's like there's just so
That
much
is really nice.
opportunity for me to build on this, and
Hmm.
I can't because I
Nope.
don't have the ability to get a United card. I've tried. I've tried the in-flight offer. I've tried
Hmm.
everything, and they literally said, "Buddy, we're gonna do you a favor. We're not even gonna check your credit this time. It's a no." And I'm just like, "Oh, Lord have
Yeah.
mercy! Like, please, somebody up there, like, help me." But anyways, so
Yep.
that's why I
Oh,
have the
absolutely.
Palladium, or not the Palladium, the Obsidian. So it's kind of like having United cards, but it's not.
Yeah. The only thing that I hate about United is it's just like they made it to where now it's like you have to have a United card in order to actually get a decent point value.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
otherwise, like when I was just trying to do it like without the card, it's like it's very close to 1 cent per point.
yeah,
Which is like I'm never gonna do that. But I
yeah.
did actually use my United Travel Bank. So I have two business platinums and a personal platinum. I did United for my two business platinums for last year. So I had $400 in Travel Bank, and then I did United for all three this year. So I went ahead and cleared those out. And then with that, I got two
Mm,
first class round trip tickets and then two economy tickets as well for
yes,
Jen's parents. And I was
yes.
like, you know what? That's I'll take it. You know, United Travel Bank before it
Yep.
closed down.
So what you're saying is you are the reason that this travel bank,
Yep.
you sir. All right.
We're gonna be in
Now I
seats
know. Now I know
2A
who
and
to
2B.
blame.
Yeah.
I know who to blame. Just kidding. I
Yeah.
was doing that too. I was absolutely using and abusing it. I
Oh
have two
yeah.
personal platinums, so I have same boat. If I could
Yeah.
have a business platinum, I was like this close to getting a business platinum too, but they needed to like verify a couple things just like you. I didn't have to do like a handwritten like lunch
Oh
note
yeah.
to Santa to like verify I was who I was,
Pretty please give
but
this to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the business platinum is like they are compelling for the right person. I just the only thing that sucks about them is the authorized user fee is $400.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like it doesn't give you anything more than the regular one does. So I was like, okay.
no thanks.
We got some Marriott, some M word discussions. So let's go ahead
Oh,
and get
M
into
word.
that. All right. Don Kim is saying you have to gotta get a watch while you're in Japan.
Yeah.
So
Watch. So the three things, watch, glasses, so like spectacles, you feel me? And
yeah.
cameras. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like big on Team Fuji. I don't have my camera here. I'm at my parents' house, my new home office studio, whatever. But I have a Fuji camera and it is literally second to none as far as like everything. So if you're on Team Sony, I am so sorry. I pity you. Um, but yeah, so cameras, I want to get a Fuji camera like when I'm in Japan, and I'm going to get it for
Okay.
like a good price. So
That's good to know. All right. There you go. Palladium is way too good. The built cache has been surprisingly usable. What have you been thinking about built cache?
my bill cash is going to my points boost. So that's literally all it is. So like
Yeah.
when you do the math, like if you think about it, like literally every $5,000 that you spend, you get 200 bill cash. So the way that the
Wow.
system works is when your $5,000 point accelerator is up, you have enough
Mhm.
to start another point
Yep.
accelerator. So
Yeah.
for people that have, yeah,
My plan was to do like before I got it, I was planning on doing the mortgage spend or get the mortgage points plus the point accelerator.
yeah,
But I don't think. I'm going to be spending it enough to actually be able to activate both of those things at the same time, which
Yeah.
would be, if I could, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I realized that like real quick when I looked at my spending. I don't I don't do enough to like really capitalize on rent for that 30 build cash per thousand and the points accelerate at the same time. So I'm just looking at other ways of spending rent, I guess you can say, whether it's just, old school methods. But I'm currently testing out a potential uh, build to rent type of a thing, and we'll even see if it works. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to get back to Marriott, but first of all, Kirby had an interesting point. I get more points for rent points than the point accelerator. That's interesting.
Mm. Yeah. I
So,
mean, it depends on your spend. So if
yeah.
you like bro logic, right, or girl math, if you want to call it that, if your spend is lower, then I'd imagine that you would get more points on rent, because you only need like 50% of your spend on rent to get like what,
Yeah.
1x or like 0.75x or something like that. And like that's pretty valuable. But for me, like I just like the points accelerator so that I can pretty much use my built card for everything rather
Hmm.
than use nothing for rent or just for rent and then we'll use all my built
Right.
cash for rent and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think that's kind of the right way to look at it. Like if I were to use my built card to unlock the rent spend, like it would basically just be a 2x everything card anyway, which is what it is with the accelerator. So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, no,
But
that's
then you
point.
get
That's
4x on food, you get 3x on travel. And then, I mean, regardless, you also get like these built bonuses. Like right now, it's gym memberships and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I've been talking about my berries class for like the last month, so might actually do that. But
There you go. All right, so we're going to get into Marriott now, but before we do, I wanted to make sure that I was giving you guys an opportunity because I just wanted to talk to you about this new wallet that I have. Now, I've talked about it a little bit, and I don't know if it's focusing on it. There we go. Yeah, so this is called a Double Oak Essentials wallet, and it's something that I bought because it was on TikTok, and it's actually really cool. I've had it for about a month and a half now, and you can see the leather is starting to get kind of really nice and kind of like I don't know, it's really cool. But it has basically like these two card slots, and then it has this little slot you can put your stuff in, and it's got a cash slot. It's really cool. I love it. Anyway, if you do want to, I think it's save 10%. There's a link in the description below, so I want to make sure I mention that. But yeah, so Double Oak Essentials, it's one of my favorite wallets. It actually has a little magnetic closure. You can hear. I don't know if you can hear it, like that little
ooh,
thunk.
that was
Yeah,
nice.
I know. I literally like I open it like it's my fidget spinner. Like I just gotta open and close it every
Yeah.
day. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I talked about it. But now that we've done that, let's go ahead and get into it. American Tarmacker is saying I'm in the same boat. I'm going all in on Marriott and you not missing nothing when it comes to chase cards. I really don't like them to be truthful. What do you think about Marriott?
I love Marriott. It's kind of just like they're the underdog. I was talking to Anthony about this yesterday, and I will say Hyatt benefits blowed out of the water. Hilton FNCs, like you can absolutely use and abuse that. But
Yeah.
there's just something about Marriott, whether it's like their footprint or just like how the app functions and how their point redemptions are not in the millions per night like Hilton.
Yep.
It's just a lot more convenient for me, and like the kicker for me is, going to my floating palace, aka Bora Bora. Like that's just like we picked a destination and then that's it. We're just all in. I feel like people have spent like the people that watch this and the people in Discord where they spend like hundreds and thousands of dollars on their business and they have the spend. So it's like, oh, I could spend 50 nights in Marriott. I could spend 60 nights in Hyatt. Not a problem. Like I can do the spend on Hilton. I could do the spend on that. However, for someone like me where my spend is not incredibly high, yet we have a very unique opportunity where player two gets reimbursed for all of her travel. So it's kind of easy to just like pick a team and stick to it. But I mean, like the benefits are really good. We have United Silver because we're titanium. The hotels that
Nice.
we go to, like she goes to these hotels enough times to where they recognize her. They're like, oh, welcome back, things like
Nice.
that. Like you can get that anywhere, but it's just like some of the byproducts that I've been noticing where like they go to a hotel for work in Santa Barbara, and then what happens is she checks in with her boss. True story, by the way. She checks in with her boss, and then she gets the early room because she's titanium, and then she gets late
Nice.
checkout because she's titanium.
Yep.
And then her boss is literally right next to her talking to another representative at the counter. And the representative tells her, sorry, your room is not available until 4 p.m. Mind you, it's like 11 in the morning. So it's like,
Right.
get wrecked. And then
Yeah,
she's like,
seriously.
oh, well, can I get late checkout then? And then they're like, it's kind of based off of like availability and status. So we'll let you know.
Right.
And
Yep.
I just told her, I was like, look, you locked in late checkout. So worst case scenario, she just puts her stuff in your room, and
Right.
it's good,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
but there are definitely benefits to it. And I think there's a lot of like intangible things where on paper you can get just about anything from every single hotel. And there are hotels that have better benefits, but yeah, I mean, there's just something about Marriott that I just really like. So
Yeah. I've got to say, and so to answer the next question, which I've definitely kind of take that Oakland and Indy. What am I missing about Marriott? I just don't see the value proposition. So here's the thing: as a transfer partner, not the strongest off the face, right? You're not getting good cent per point value if you do that. However, if you are someone who transfers to hotels, Marriott might actually be a better option than Hilton. So let's take a look at an example. So we're going to Atlanta in April, and we were looking at basically the area of Atlanta that we're going to be in. We could do a double tree, which has been there for 10 years. It's an older property, like all double trees are for some reason. And it's 40,000 points per night. So 40,000 Hilton points. So if I wanted to transfer Marriott, or if I wanted to transfer my MR points to Hilton, 20,000 membership reward points, right? For that free night. And that'll save me $150, $200, right? It's a terrible value. If I transferred to one to Marriott, I can get a free night again for the same amount, so 20,000 points. Uh, but it's a newer property because it's a Westin that just was finished last year. It has a 1 bedroom suite. Like it's a better property, and it's like, okay, yeah, the cent per point for my MR points, it's about the same ish. Um, but like it looks better from a point value perspective, and plus, like, if I'm earning points by, if I use my Ritz-Carlton card, I'm getting 18 points per dollar on that one. If I pay cash and then I just reimburse myself, like, that could be a better deal, and so, like, if all hotel programs suck, and it looks like they're all going that way, right? If the Hyatt program becomes 75,000 points for that Park Hyatt in Kyoto, like literally every night, um, Marriott's might be better, right? If everything sucks, Marriott might suck the less, which I think is kind of like, from a transfer partner perspective, I think is the way I'm looking at it. But you're looking at it like from a loyalty perspective too.
yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I'm also looking at like this Hyatt devaluation where I mean, how much Hyatt points do you get for using Hyatt cards? This is something where you
Yeah.
kind of have to start using these Hyatt cards for things you normally wouldn't in order to get more and more points. Um,
Right.
because I mean, the value of all the properties are going up anywhere between like 34 and 67%, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and this is where you start to kind of pick and choose like where you spend or what you do in order to get your Hyatt points. The fact that there's so many different Hilton transfer partners, there's so many Marriott transfer partners,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they haven't gotten nerfed by 67% in this case. I think the fact that there's probably nerfs coming, like there's probably
Oh yeah.
things that they're going to be changing that are going to ruin everything. But I
Oh yeah.
mean,
The Marriott
until
execs are
then,
going to be like, wait a minute, we're the good ones now. Okay, we got to
yeah,
stop this.
we gotta change something around here.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, yeah, I mean, even IHG is kind of coming up too. There's a lot of cards there that
Yeah.
you can use that I haven't even begun to look into yet.
Yeah, Luke's switched out to IHG, but and last year too was the summer of Marriott. Like, almost every single hotel that we stayed at was a Marriott because, I don't know if you've ever stayed in an AC hotel. They're really nice. They're cheap on
Yeah.
points, And they're always in like downtown areas where you want to stay, and the rooms are like decently sized, and they have like the linoleum floors, so it's like the luxury linoleum or vinyl or whatever it is, and so like it's easy to clean. It feels cleaner. You always have really good views from the rooms and stuff, so I like them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marriott's for the win. Yeah.
I mean,
All
if
right.
and if the last like little tidbit, name me every hotel chain or hotel ecosystem where you can transfer your hotel points to airlines.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
and
I'll wait.
it's not the best redemption, but like the fact that you can, with the Bonvoy Brilliant sign up bonus, if you're able to get that, 200,000 points is what, like 60 something thousand that you can convert to A&A or something like that.
Yeah, and
Not
then
bad.
you can get almost a first class flight, which is $16,000. So how would you like, a $10,000 to $16,000 flight for, a $650 Bonvoy Brilliant, and then you probably
Right.
spend at Marriott, right? So we were kind of talking about this with Virgin Atlantic, but it's like you can buy
Mhm.
Marriott points, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming you'd probably get Marriott value, or maybe it's just hotels, but I mean, just line up some trips, stay at Marriott, get 20 points per dollar, 21 points per dollar, and then you get
Hmm.
200,000 points on top of that. Like, I mean, to put it into perspective, I paid cash for my Europe trip, so I probably spent like maybe I would say ballpark $4,000.
Yeah.
And then the 23.5x, you can round up to 24. That's almost like 100 something thousand points just for this Europe trip, right?
Yeah.
So
I think we were, yeah. So, like, some of these, like, so if you are transferring your Marriott points, like, now let's assume that they're on sale, you can get them for half a cent a point, right? If you're converting 3 Marriott points to one A&A point or something, you're essentially buying A&A points at 1.5 cents per point, which is better than if you were to buy them directly, right? I think Air France, if you were to buy them, it's like 2.4 cents if they're on sale or something like that.
yeah,
And so like, yeah, like if you're in the buying points game, like that can really be pretty solid actually in some key scenarios, as long as you're getting that saver fare, right? Like if you're at that 60,000 point business class ticket, then yeah, that's going to be worth it for you.
yep,
That's amazing. Oakland, India's agreeing. Yeah, AC hotels are decent. Yeah, that was basically everywhere we stayed at was an AC last year. I was like, yeah, this is I'm happy with it. It's a lot better than Hampton Inns, I'll tell you that much.
hmm
Yeah. All right, so we got some people correcting us on built. Apparently, we have some bad takes. So, Mad Bat saying BizPlat is the only card on my roadmap for the rest of the year. I've been busy so far this year. Yeah, the
yeah,
Business Platinum is one of the best ones. Like, if you do some decent spend, that's good. I think the hotel credit kind of made that overpowered because you get $600 from there, and then if you hit the quarterly Hilton, that's $800 right there, and then the airfare credit, you can get some good value. And that's not even thinking about the Dell credit and the other things like that.
yep,
Not bad. Not bad. But Kirby's saying I get more points from rent points and point. Oh, we did talk about that.
mhm,
But Coder Coral says that transfer bonuses are really nice, and the Grubhub Plus Walgreens credits have been nice as well. Yeah, the transfer bonuses are nice, and that's another use of built cash that maybe people would want to consider instead of the point accelerator.
yeah. No, I don't think he meant like build cash as far as the bonuses. I
Oh,
think he
okay.
was talking about
Oh, just in
like,
general, yeah.
yeah, when they were doing like the 5x promotions. So they
Hmm.
had like food delivery. So Grubhub was there, Uber Eats was there. That one I just absolutely demolished. Like I used Uber Eats for absolutely everything, to get 5x
Yep.
plus like the 4x on food with the accelerator. Um, and that's kind of like where if you have like niche moments like that, I would probably imagine that accelerator probably wins out. But
Yeah.
like they had one for Walgreens where it was 5x Walgreens. There's literally a
Oh
Walgreens
yeah.
next door to where I work, and I was literally
Nice.
just my breakfast, lunch, dinner, energy drinks, all of it. Um, Probably got literally maxed out all the way up to that 1,000 point mark for like every single week. So
Nice. Yeah, like so I have the entry bonuses. And so my one of them is 5x on food delivery services. And one thing that I did find out, it doesn't have to be actually delivery. It just has to be like code as Grubhub or Uber Eats. And so around my office, like there's a lot of places that are like returning to work, and so a lot of these businesses are trying to capitalize on that by like doing buy one get one free lunch specials on Uber Eats and stuff like that. So I paid, I think it was like $13, and I got the 5x multiplier on top of that for the pickup, but I got buy one get one free, so I had lunch and dinner with just one shot, and I was like, yeah, I'll give the points for that. That's nice. Yeah.
BOGO, can't beat it. Thank you very much.
Kirby G's points and miles. Well, the ratio to unlocking your rent gives you more points than the point accelerator, but the PA is easier. Interesting. All right. Point accelerator is 5,000 points for $200. 5,000 points for rent / mortgage is 150. That's assuming you have $5,000 that you spend on rent or mortgage, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah. I think we're at like $2,400 now. So it actually went down this year, which was nice. Oh yeah, so Matt Darling saying that they got their foreign transaction fee refund. That's good. I'm glad that we're seeing some stuff in the wild. We actually opened up the live talking about that because that had just come out actually that people were starting to get their refunds, which is nice. But yeah, 467. Not that much of a refund, but I'm glad that they got that done. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Carlos saying I started with only points accelerator and now switched to mainly rent. Points accelerator only when I can do both together. So far, I did it twice. Wow. Okay. 5,000 points versus 6,666 points. There you go. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh yeah. So we got Luke's in the building here. Welcome, Luke. Hilton transfers over 25 different airlines. Oh, okay, that's good to know as well. IHG points transferred to 37 airlines, and then Choice points transferred to 15 airlines. So all right, so we're learning some things. Okay.
I mean, if it helps, Hilton is a 10-to-1 ratio, which is forget about it. IHG is 5-to-1, which is also forget about it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe we're thinking about there's a particular kind of strength when it comes to like maybe if you want to buy Marriott points to get airline points, where that's not necessarily the case with some of these other hotel partners. Yeah. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like some of those I think would just be if I like wasn't going to be using my Hilton points anymore, and I just wanted to kind of cash them out at some level. Yeah, I would do something like that. That's good to know, though. Thanks so much for that, Luke. All right, so I think did you want to share? Did you already share your ticket situation?
I did not. I just said I'm
yeah.
going.
Do you want to? Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's do it. If you feel like it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I really wanted to go to Japan. I've been talking about having my cheeks in first class seats for like the last like 2 years now. Nice. And I had no idea how I was going to get it done. And in previous videos, I was literally talking about like how I'm on the cusp of just like calling it because I just couldn't find any availability. Nothing was working. I couldn't find anything for Japan Airlines. I couldn't find anything for ANA. It was either like, it was 300 times more points or just like there was layovers, like it just wasn't working out. And doing some research, I think we all know like Calendar Open, 355 days for ANA and certain other airlines. Mm-hmm. And I just did a random search on 355 for ANA. I think it was like at 10 o'clock at night my time, and I found like one business class seat, and that kind of just like reinvigorated, like the passion that I had for trying to book flights to ANA. So did a little bit more research, found out that it's 5 p.m. Pacific time, 355 days in advance, to like book the seats. And I knew that you had to essentially make a really, really tough choice, I guess. Because before you do anything in the credit card world, you have to search for the flight, find the flight, make sure the flight exists, and then you transfer the points, right? It's almost just like a cardinal sin to transfer the points because you really don't know what's going to happen, and you can't go back. Points get devalued over the course of time. Like, I mean, just look what happened to Hyatt. But I knew that if you transfer to ANA, it takes 2 days. Sometimes, I mean, rumor is it's business days, which is wild if you think about it. So I decided to go all in, and it wasn't like a if I'm going to Japan anymore. It was like a when I'm going to Japan. And
Nice.
ANA, you get to keep your points for 3 years. So I was like, okay, I got 3 years to find these flights.
There you go. Yeah.
Um, but essentially, I got one business class seat for myself, and the thought process that I had was I can't find another one. So the game plan now is going to be either I search for other days, I wait till like maybe 14 days before and see if you know if the seats become available or if they open up, maybe I can upgrade to it. Maybe I could call them and just, beg the CEO to just like, please, it's my birthday or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was kind of the strategy. Or I was just gonna book myself economy and then just have player two sit in my seat and then I sit in her seat in economy. Um, and I would say a couple days later, I think it was like Monday or something like that. I had all the points. So I had like at this point like 180,000 points in the bank for ANA, and I knew that you can essentially cancel the if you need to cancel and rebook. Then all the research that I was saying was it's instant. Spoiler alert: it's actually not instant to get your points back. You can
Yeah.
instantly book the flight for yourself, but you don't instantly get the points back. So this
Hmm.
is where you really, really need to be careful for those watching. I was fortunate enough to just have enough points for a round trip because I knew I was going to get a round trip. But
Nice.
on the very next day, I was literally sitting at work on my lunch at 5 o'clock, and I had everything just like loaded on ANA. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go from JFK to Tokyo. I'm gonna go on this day, and then literally as soon as like the 5 o'clock, as soon as the 5 o'clock thing hit, I selected search, and then first class seat, the suite was available, and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do. I'm just like
Oh man.
shakily, just like inputting all the information, making sure that everything is good. Payment info. So I put everything on the bill card because the 3x, trying to capitalize and get as many points, knowing full well that you can get more CSR and platinum things like that. And then I was able to book the first class seat for player two. So she's going to be sitting in her throne room for 14 and a half hours. And then I go back and then I'm looking up for business class. And then interestingly enough, 2 minutes later, there was a business class on the same exact flight. And I was like,
Nice.
the stars are aligning. Like, I don't even know what's going on right now, but like someone is messing up and it's not me.
That's amazing.
So I got the business class, the room for myself. That was great. Um, and I think I just took like the rest of the day off from work mentally because I just like
Oh
still
yeah.
could not even imagine that that just happened. But it turns out that it's a lot easier than you think it is as long as you book literally the moment that they get there. Because even 5 minutes after that, I looked at seats from San Francisco, like my home airport, to Tokyo, and there was two business class seats available.
Oh
And
wow.
I'm just like, oh my god, look, time to make a decision. Like the problem that I had was it wasn't even it was the right plane, but it wasn't the right product. And I was
Oh
like, I'm
okay.
going for the product at this point. I'm not necessarily
Right.
going for the convenient route. So I
Yeah.
decided after contemplation and thought to just stick with the flight from New York. So I'm going to reposition to New York. My sister lives there, so I have family there, so I can, hang out with her, stay over there, don't have to worry about a hotel or anything. Um, and then we go from JFK back. And then 2 days ago, I was talking to you about. I was like, hey, maybe I'll have some good news for
Yep.
the stream.
That's
I
right.
was able to secure two business class seats back, or sorry, one first class seat and one business class seat. It's not the new product, so it's not the suite, not the room,
Okay.
but it is directly to San Francisco. So that's where I really wanted to prioritize just like convenience, where it's
Yeah.
like I want to go on this 11-hour flight. I want to land in San Francisco. I want to go home and I want to sleep, you
Yeah.
know. But you never know. The flights are literally 350 days from now. So at that time, maybe ANA will update all of their product, their 777s to the modern product, so you never know. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's amazing. Well, if you're listening to what's going on and you're liking what you hear, go ahead and make sure that you actually look. There should be a clickable link in the description to go ahead and subscribe to Card Smarter, which is Daniel's YouTube channel, and he will tell you exactly how you can make your dream redemption come true. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe, but also make sure you do it in a separate tab so you don't click away from here because we're gonna have
Yeah, don't do
some
that.
really good stuff to for you to learn about. Let's see. We have Matt Darling. 8A miles are goaded, but I take my round the world trip that I booked just before the door closed. Wow, that's going to be an amazing trip.
Yeah, we like
And
that.
then he also says, make sure you get the Japanese menu. I can imagine that would be a little bit better.
Can I keep the Japanese menu? Are you talking about like the physical paper menu, or are you just talking about like, because I know they have like the Japanese thing you could order, and then they have like the international or whatever one.
Hmm.
But maybe I could keep the menu and like keep it as a keepsake. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I've actually kept every single one of my menus just because, like, it's like it's a cool thing to reminisce over. Like, oh yeah, that's right, I did eat that.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that, and it's not that big of a collection, but it's getting bigger. Matt Darling, also good chance that your flight to SFO will be on the room/suite. Equipment swaps are common. That would be amazing.
Please. That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Awesome. That's great. Well, I got to tell you, actually, so I was doing an interesting little conversation about getting into London with Tyler. And so on his live last night, and we were talking a little bit and it occurred to me that I did want to at least talk to you a little bit about what I was able to get for our trip that we're doing to Scotland. And so pretty much what we're doing is we're flying from JFK into London Heathrow. And I was able to actually make this booking happen by booking with Cathay Pacific. So I did a video about this where I basically cleared out my Mesa points, transferred them all to Cathay because that was 1-to-1 at the time. And I was able to make it happen for, I think it was 63,000 points per person. So 126,000 points total. And then it ended up being actually $250 per person. And so that was not bad for those taxes and fees because it's actually on British Airways metal. So it's a British Airways flight. If I had transferred all of my points to Avios instead, I would have paid 88,000 points per person. Plus, I think it would have
Yeah.
been like 650 in taxes and
Yeah.
fees per person. And so saved a lot of money on that. However, on the way back, we were looking at a couple different things. We were initially going to stay through Thanksgiving, and we were going to actually come back. I booked the new American business class seats on from Heathrow to Orlando by way of Philadelphia. So there was like a 2-hour layover. And I was excited about that. For 45,000 points, it ended up being about $500 for both of us in taxes and fees. But I had to cancel that one because we decided that since we have Wells, he should probably be at home for Thanksgiving to be with family and stuff. And so we ended up actually booking directly with British Airways because if we did Cathay Pacific, it was going to be $1,600 total in taxes, but it ended up being about $500 in taxes and fees on the way back, just booking
Mm.
directly with British Airways. So it was a little more in points, but we saved on the taxes and fees, so that was kind of nice. So
Yeah.
now still round trip that we're looking at close to what $1,000, yeah, in taxes and fees, but it's on British Airways. It's something I've never flown before, and so that's going to be solid business class seats. The only thing that sucks is you have to pay to sit together or to have your assigned seats. And
Mm.
it's a trip where it's our first international trip with Wells, and so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pay the fee to make sure that we're together. One, and that's two, that we're close to the bathroom that has a changing table on it, which is the other kind of priority. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that kind of sucks about British Airways, but I'm kind of excited about that trip. So it's we're gonna find out if it has better food than Virgin, which I don't think anybody says it does, but I'm still looking forward
Mm.
to it.
Yeah.
But it's not the room, but
Dude, I mean, for me, people will probably roast me for this, but like that entertainment on board is so crucial. It is so crucial. Like Virgin Atlantic had horrible movies. Like they were
yeah,
so
that's
bad.
true. Yeah.
And like I know downloading all your content so you can watch it offline. Virgin Atlantic, also their Wi-Fi was horrible.
Yep. And they
You had
charge
to
like it's like
essentially, yeah,
go
you got
ahead.
to pay
Sorry.
$35 or sorry, 35 great GBP, so British
Yep.
pounds, in order to get like their crazy unlimited Wi-Fi, and like half the time it never even worked. Um, so I think like yeah, like hard product, the seats were comfortable, the food was amazing, but like that soft product of like no free Wi-Fi, even though you have a business class seat. The
Right.
infotainment, like it was very, I don't think it was like the new Virgin Atlantic anything. Like it was
Right.
definitely the old product, but like when you think about what really makes a flight, it's kind of a combination of everything. And that's like one of the biggest things that I learned, where it's like you can't just book any business class flight. You have to know like what airplane is it, what's the hard product, what's the soft product, like what do you
Right.
actually get, especially
Mhm.
flying from London back to the United States on a 10-hour or 11-hour flight, or
Yeah.
flying from, JFK to Tokyo, which is almost a 15-hour flight. Like, yeah, you have a comfortable seat, but like you're kind of just locked in a box for 15 hours and you're not going to do
Yeah.
anything. Or you could just repeat like the same songs over and over again because those are the only songs that you have downloaded.
You
But
don't
also
download
you
your
could really,
Spotify
really
playlists.
literally, you could also just do your homework and just like download a whole bunch of movies. Like I could just have every single Lord of the Rings movie on my iPad or computer and just call it a day, right? But sometimes people
Nice.
forget, or sometimes people just don't know, and they expect a lot when they get a business class seat, and that's kind of something that not many people know about. So
Yeah. I actually found that editing videos on planes is like actually really cool because I have a MacBook Air, and it's kind of sucks because it's a 15-inch one, and the 13-inch one would fit in the like seat next to me, like the storage area, but the 15-inch
yeah,
one doesn't, so I have to go get my backpack, which is like, oh no. But it
yeah,
does enough really good with that editing, like at least the little editing that I actually do. And so like I just get like 3 or 4 videos down on a flight, and it's like it's good.
yeah. I might do that for my Japan trip, honestly. Just like record a bunch of content there and then edit
Yeah.
all of it on the way back.
Yep. That's what I do. It's a good way to get stuff to be productive.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we only have maybe like 8 or 9 minutes left before I have to start getting ready, getting Wells ready for bed because he had a fun day. We actually went to church for the first time today with him, so that was fun.
Nice.
But yeah, Dr. Chris Heidelberg is here. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. Oakland to India. Just transfer my little 10K Marriott balance to Delta. Okay, yeah, there we go. Coder built transfer bonus finally got me to book my Japan trip, JAL business class in December. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Congratulations.
I was actually looking at ways. So I'm trying to get a spring trip next year. Like, so we actually want to do like the English countryside for a week in like the spring. So like April-ish, like when it's actually like springtime in England. And
Mhm.
so we're actually like, I'm looking at it already, and it's like, there's actually a couple places that are actually not that bad. I think there was one that I could see where I found a couple of options with Air France to fly into Paris, and then I can fly into London. And so that actually might save a lot. Like business class. I love Air France business class. It's pretty good. So
Yeah.
I might do something like that soon, but we like Europe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely on the same page. I think I definitely want to try Air France to Paris. Like that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Um, Player two is just in love with Paris. We went when it was a little colder, so the next time we go, we want it to be like when, not necessarily summer, but like you said, like spring. Definitely a lot warmer, flowers. You can find an easier time walking around. I think after our previous trip, like we definitely know a lot better of like what to do.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah. 100%. I just have to show you like where I want to stay. So let's go ahead and go. There we go. So this is the Dial House. This is actually it's called Bourton on the Water, and it's like it's a little town in the English countryside. There's a little creek that goes through the town, and it's got like this was a lodge that was built in the 1600s, and the rooms are actually really amazing. And like they have like a lobby bar with a like huge roaring fireplace, and it's really cool. So we're gonna try to go back there, but
We like that. I
yeah,
mean, you got
right.
me at the fireplace, bro. Anything with the fireplace.
Seriously,
That's
yeah.
it.
And the rooms are not bad. Like I think we actually got one of the better rooms, and it was upstairs, had a view of the garden, which was amazing. And
Yeah.
it was like I think it was like 200 pounds a night, which is like not terrible. It's like 350, I think, ish. So
Yeah.
yeah, like this, if we could just do this for a week, like I'm happy with it.
We like that.
Oh yeah,
Approved.
exactly right. Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything before we wrap up? Is there anything else you wanted to share about just any kind of personal news or any other kind of travel news that you're proud of?
So as everybody knows, I guess maybe not many people know, but love the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant have been in pop-up jail for actually the longest time in history. I used one of the no lifetime language links and got automatically denied. It was a phenomenal feeling. However, however, I called reconsideration like a couple days later, and I told them essentially, and this is going to be the pro tip for everybody, even if you're automatically denied, even if it's just like, your score or velocity or whatever, I told them that I fudged up the information that I put, and I did that
Yeah.
on my previous application also. So that was probably the reason for the denial. And then the person's
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh yeah, I could see that, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "You can?" She was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "So what can we do?" And she was like, "I can reopen the application for you. We'll do like a review." And I'm like,
Nice.
"Look, like I use Marriott cards religiously. I use them for work. I'm a good kid. You could trust me. Like I
Yeah.
love American Express." And she's just like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." Um, so I was able to get them to re-review the application, and they said it would take like 3 to 5 business days or something like that. So hopefully I'll find out like by tomorrow or Tuesday if I
Oh
get this
man.
Bonvoy Brilliant. And I swear to God, dude, if I get this card, it is going to be a party. Like I am going to be throwing a party, and it's going to be at a Marriott hotel. Okay. So time and a place to be determined. But yeah, so that's a nice little update. And
That's
yeah, I
amazing.
mean,
I
book
hope you get it. I
Japan.
hope we have to
So
do schedule another live.
yeah, I'll do the live like at the party in Marriott. So
That's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I have to think about it. So like basically with the new language, I would have to not because at first like with the old language, I would have had to downgrade the Ritz Carlton card to a boundless or something, and wait 30 days and then apply to get the sign up bonus with the Brilliant. However, now I'd have to completely cancel the card and then wait 30 days.
Mhm.
And I'm not interested in doing that. So I had to think, okay, what would I rather do? Keep the Ritz Carlton card or get the Brilliant card without a sign up bonus?
Mm. Mm.
Like, that's a hard choice, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like the free night award is really good.
Yeah.
85,000. You could top off with 25K now. I mean, you get
Hmm.
I don't even know. See, like I've been after this card for so long, I don't even know what the benefits are anymore. But it's like $300 a year for like food
Dining.
related stuff. So I mean, like that's
Yeah.
cool. You get priority pass. So like if you don't have that from any other card, like I mean, it could be good, but um yeah, I mean, if push came to shove and you have like a trip where like the cert would be really good, 85,000 free night would be good, then I would get it. However, if you're not chasing status, if you're not chasing like
Right.
anything immediate, then I would definitely say wait. For me, it's kind of like a combination of both because I do want to get titanium status forever. And this card makes it good. I made the
Yeah.
mistake of saying titanium has lifetime status, which it does not.
Yeah.
But it just makes it easier. You get 25 nights for the Brilliant, you get 15 nights for the Business, and then when you
Hmm.
get platinum status with the Brilliant, you get to choose an award or like a gift, and then you can pick the 5 elite nights. So I mean, from the jump, you get 45 of 70 nights. So that way, you only need to spend 25 nights there. And the way that Marriott just releases these bonuses where they give you extra free nights for like all of your
Yeah.
stays, it's kind of bonkers.
Yeah. It is. It is really bonkers. Like it's yeah.
Yeah,
And so I probably will end up just keeping my Ritz, but it's like, oh man, like I
yeah,
definitely probably will be picking up the Marriott business card. It's
yeah,
a lot of spend, and I'm just fresh off of 4 sign up bonuses. Or I mean, I'm about to be fresh out of 4 sign up bonuses, but I
yeah,
may have to get it if
yeah.
anything for the
This
extra referral links.
The Bonvoy Brilliant is literally like the only card this year that I'm actually like planning on getting. Everything else, it's gonna be like I'm gonna get it because this crazy refresh and benefits that I really like. But there's only one card
Hmm.
on my list right now. Well, I guess 2 cards on my list, and that's the Brilliant and God forbid, the Palladium. If they start allowing people to get more than one of those bill cards, but
Oh yeah,
probably not.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. All right. Oh yeah. So Background Blue wants to know what's your favorite pizza chain?
Round table. Yeah. So Round Table, King Arthur Supreme, it's legit. And if you like a bunch of meat on your pizza, Ultimate from Round Table, there's a local spot in San Francisco called Golden Boys Pizza. Absolutely phenomenal. It's like Detroit style, so like really, really
Whoa.
good.
Okay.
So yeah.
There was an old chain in Florida called Sir Pizza. When I lived in Miami, there was still one there. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it was pretty good. But yeah, no, the correct answer for Background Balloon, unfortunately, is Little Caesars. So he's a
Pizza,
fan
pizza.
of yeah, exactly. He loves the crazy bread. All right, Don Q has an interesting question. So, friend was flying lie flat business on red eye to sleep and be ready in the morning when he landed for vacation plus work. Other friends said that was a waste of a business seat. Agree or disagree, and why? No.
Uh I mean, I would say a lot of my travels recently, when it's a little bit longer, maybe from like East Coast to or West Coast to East Coast, where you lose a lot of time, I think that it's really, really valuable to take the red eye so that way you could just sleep. And then when you wake up the next morning, like you're go,
Hmm.
go, go.
Yep.
Um, it's very, very valuable if you don't have like 2 weeks in a specific city or country or wherever you're going.
Hmm.
So for example, one of the trips that I'm planning right now, it's near Portugal. The island chain is
Oh
called the
yeah.
Azores.
Hmm.
And it's a stone's throw away from New York. However, like going there for 6 days, you lose a day flying there and then you gain a day coming back. So it's like getting that
Oh
extra day flying overnight, it's quite powerful.
yeah.
But if I was there for 2 weeks, I wouldn't care when I would get there. I would want like the most comfortable, convenient, like not many
Oh
people
yeah.
like sleeping on a plane, of course. But I mean, if time is of the essence, then personally I would choose red eye versus anything else, just so
Oh
that
yeah.
the next day we're set up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, we have a couple of others. Background Blue is saying when I applied for the Marriott Boundless, the Chase rep told me to be pound sand and that I will not be given any reconsideration. Background, is it because you were over 524?
Probably.
Yeah. Although I got mine at 824, but they
Let's
but
just Can we just rename it? It's the Phillip 24. Okay. Like Phillip
yeah.
24. That's the new rule.
I did have to like send in a photocopy of my driver's license, and like they approved me like literally 2.5 months later. But I did
Ridiculous.
get it. Yeah, yeah. Charvicio, I'm planning to apply for the Bonvoy Brilliant in January. That card is bonkers. Yeah, who knows what the language will be in January? But best of luck to you. Cub fan, never get a card without a sign up bonus. Well, Cub
Mm.
fan, I'm gonna let you down. I got the Aspire card without a sign up bonus. It was that diamond status was just it did it for me.
There you go.
Coder got the Brilliant last week. Looking forward to taking it for a drive. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a terrible card for like everyday use either, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Don Kim saying friend group was split that John was not fully enjoying the business seats amenities, while others said getting quality sleep is the amenity.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the ice cream, you know. Yeah, it's funny. Was it? Is it United that has ice cream sundaes?
I have no idea. I haven't flown
Okay,
United.
I haven't either. But they're like, oh, you got to get that. You got to get the Sunday. The Sunday. I'm like,
Yeah. Saturday. Saturday.
yeah. Charvicio says card is worth more than its welcome offer. It definitely can be with some of these hotel cards. I think the hotel cards are the only ones I would consider getting without a sign up bonus, to be honest. Like just
Yeah, I mean,
because
your
of
currency
the
is
benefits.
just so dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Chris Heidelberg, I have 10 Amex cards and I'm at 5 actual cards, and one is an authorized user. But the Brilliant could work since my wife has the Aspire and I am her authorized user. I have the Marriott Bonvoy Biz already. There you go.
Get it.
All right. Yeah, get it. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Some people agree with you about Round Table, so that was awesome.
Mhm.
Don Kim likes the Maui Zowie from Round Table.
Criminal having pineapple on your pizza. That'll be.
So
We can save that for another one. Yeah.
I've gotta out myself. My wife gets only pineapple on her pizza. Yeah.
Okay. I have a saying, it's your world. I'm just living in it. So
Right. Yeah. Dim, that is not true. I got a sign up bonus. I got $200 in built cash for
that was
getting
great.
the Obsidian card, which
Yeah,
promptly
same.
I immediately spent like literally 5 minutes after it hit my account for the point accelerator.
Same.
Calder is saying that he's a couple Benadryl away from getting quality sleep in any seat. Okay, so here's the thing. I thought that I was that guy where I could just take a couple Benadryl and I would be able to sleep in a premium economy seat. It was the worst because I couldn't sleep, but I was super drowsy when we landed, and I was like, "This is so bad."
Time to function.
Exactly right. Yeah. Don Kim. Okay, so American and United both have the Sundays. Okay, that's good to know. All right, Oakland. I've upgraded my Delta card twice with no sub, but received companion pass immediately both times. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I'm actually kind of playing that game as well. So I just recently upgraded my Delta Business Gold to a Platinum card, but before I did it, I actually applied for a fresh Delta Business Platinum and got it. So I got the sign up bonus for it and the upgrade bonus. So I have 2 Delta Business Platinums, but one is actually going to renew in May. So I should get a companion pass in May, hopefully. So that'll be nice. And then, Delta Silver status.
We like
So,
that.
yeah.
Pineapple.
All right, everybody. Well, that is unfortunately going to do it for us because I think I'm hearing bedtime chimes. So,
Uh-oh.
yeah. So we're going to go ahead and put him to bed, and that means I got to put this live to bed. But if every one of the 72 people go ahead and hit that like button, but then also go to Card Smarter and make sure you get subscribed for the next video that Daniel's going to throw out. That would be incredible. But thank you so much for joining us, Daniel. I really, really appreciate you. It's always a great conversation when you're here. And yeah, thanks so much for being here, everybody else.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. It's been fun. See you on the next one.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be back, hopefully. But anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night.